So in this video, I'm going to show you one of the tools that I use, that I rely on. Holy moly, yeah, this thing is always by my side. This is going to be used if you're going to use beads when you're tying a fly. So if you're tying a beadhead fly, this tool has just, I'm sure I put more than 1,000 beads through this thing, and it still looks brand new. But it sits right next to me because I need it when I'm tying any kind of a fly with a bead. So I'm going to throw in just a couple of graphics here. I won't keep them on very long, but just to give everyone perspective. So here what you're going to see are the fact that beads come in a variety of different colors, different shapes, different sizes. On the bottom, you'll see an example of where you will use a bead on a fly. This is happens to be a Prince nymph, but it's got a gold bead at its head. And this video is going to be talking about how to get that bead onto the hook when you're tying flies. So our next graphic is really important. Most commonly when you have beads, you're going to note what you see here. One side of the bead is going to be larger in diameter than the other side. The smaller diameter that's shown here on the left, you're going to want that right up against the eye of the hook, and usually the larger diameter you're going to have towards the back of the fly. So that gives you a graphic example of what I mean when I'm talking about larger diameter, smaller diameters on these individual beads. So in this particular case, the narrow side is right there. It's the diameter of that hole is much less than the diameter of this on the back side. I want the small diameter to be pushed right up against the eye of my hook. So this is actually a fairly large bead that I'm using just to show how to use this particular tool. So again, here's my tool. If I tip it this way, you'll see, hopefully I've got that arranged right down there at the 6 o'clock position. You can see a bead. Okay, so I've got, the tool looks like this. It's just a rod here to hold on to, but really the working part is right up here, and this is where you're going to slide beads in, depending on which size of fly or what size of bead you're putting on your hook, which does depend on which size of fly you're tying as well. And what you'll notice, hopefully, here is I've got the bead in place right here at the 6 o'clock position. But you note all of these other positions are just for different diameter beads, and some of them get really small, very, very small. And the smaller they get, at least for me, the harder they are to get onto the hook. So I've got my good old, I think I've used this 15 times now, but my barbless hook here. But when I get down to like right here, that is a absolutely tiny bead that goes in there, and this tool just comes in so handy for that. So bead I'm showing you today is just for demonstration purposes, but it is a little bit bigger, just so that you can hopefully see it a little bit better. So basically that wide diameter of that bead is facing the camera lens right now, and that's going to be we want that wide diameter to be facing back towards the bend of the hook, and we want the narrow diameter of the bead to be right up against the eye of the hook. Okay, so once again, we'll take our bead, or our hook and our bead here. So we're just going to slide that hook right up through the bead there, and hopefully you can see that. Now my hook is threaded basically through that bead. It's ready to go. It's just now a matter of getting the hook off and the bead off without the bead falling off the hook. And really all it takes is that little gentle kind of tug, and you can see we've got our bead on our hook now. I'm usually extra careful just because I don't want it to slide back off. It's really easy for that to do, really easy to put it back on too. But so if I were to tying a beadhead fly now, I put my hook in the vise here and lock her down, and I'm ready to go. And you can see my silver bead here. It's not going to fall off anymore because I got my hook in the jaw of the vise. So great tool, very, very, very helpful, especially when you're tying absolutely small or smaller beads. I would even struggle a little bit with this one, but the tiny ones, it's just not possible for me anymore to get onto a hook without a tool like that.